Hello everyone, this is Defense Politics Asia, and this is the Frontline Changes report. And the first frontline change is over at the Avdiivka front, over at this Olivka. So there is a few changes over here, as you can see. So at the Olivka itself, okay, I just do this. Okay, at the Olivka itself, the Russian forces have increased their zone of control according to the Ukrainian mapping, and this is what the Ukrainians are willing to accept. The Russian claims remains to be pretty large of the entire of Olivka. And in the southern part of Olivka, the Ukrainian mapping also shows that they have expanded control in the south of Olivka, moving towards the north of Tonenke. And there is a geolocation of the Russian flag being raised, so confirming, invalidating at least the Ukrainian claims on the southeastern part of Tonenke. However, based on Russian mapping, they have disclaimed this entire Pokpok come out, this entire thing that it was previously claimed that the Russians have taken. Now they're not so sure. Now this, according to the Russian mapping, this is now gray zone, which means that the Ukrainians have basically taken back at least this part. So so this is the frontline changes in terms of the Avdiivka front. As you can see, the Russians are making some progress, other parts are not, and the Ukrainian mapping still continues to not acknowledge the capture of any of these settlements, Olivka, Tonenke, or Bedaichi. So just to update in terms of further up north a bit, at the Bedaichi region, the Russian mapping continues to claim they have control over the entire of Bedaichi, with the gray zone to be around it. However, according to the Ukrainian mapping, it still remains to be like this. There is no evidence also tentatively to show that the Russians have actually taken the entire settlement. Even the geolocations that came out from this region here continues to show Ukrainians and the Russians to be on the separate side. Basically, the Ukrainian mapping at the moment still seems to be the accurate one, which thus makes the capture of Bedaichi very, very dubious. And we are talking about like already a few days. The claim of the capture was on the 29th of February, and we are now already on the this report is the 3rd of March. So 3 days has passed. There is still no geolocations to show that the Russians are inside Bedaichi, nor on the northwestern part of Olivka, nor on the northwestern part of Tonenke. So the claims of the capture of these three settlements is currently very, very weak. Very weak. The Ukrainian mapping seems to be very accurate as of this moment. And the other frontline change is over at further southwest of this location, over at the Donetsk front at Krasnohorivka. Based on the Russian claims, this is not acknowledged by the Ukrainian side. The Ukrainian mapping do not acknowledge this far up. The Russians continue to be attacking in the southern part of Krasnohorivka and expanded control around this industrial area, this mine, Trudovskaya mine. And the fighting is now over in the southern part of Krasnohorivka. This entire thing is not acknowledged at all by the Ukrainian side, and there's tentatively also no footages coming out from the battlefield to prove this is the case. So anyway, we will continue to monitor and see how this progress. And further south, over at Novomykhailivka, the battle of Novomykhailivka continues, and in this area here, Russian forces expanded their control over at Novomykhailivka, and they have entered into the center, taking positions around the church. However, the situation here continues to be very, very difficult for the Russians, as the Ukrainians continue to have positions and are currently holding the line. So even though the Russian claims to have controlled this, the Russian side also acknowledged that their control is not very, very strong. Because the buildings are very, very shot through by the Ukrainian side. So anyway, these are the frontline changes report. So anyway, thank you for watching. Do press the like button and subscribe, and of course look out for the SITREP, and I'll see you guys in the next update.